Today, we will talk about carbon credits and how they can offset your carbon footprint. Carbon credits, also known as carbon offsets, are permits that allow the owner to emit a certain amount of carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases. One credit permits the emission of 1 ton of carbon dioxide or the equivalent in other greenhouse gases. The carbon credit is half of a so-called cap-and-trade program. Companies that pollute are awarded credits that allow them to continue to pollute up to a certain limit, which is reduced periodically. Meanwhile, the company may sell any unneeded credits to another company that needs them. Private companies are thus doubly incentivized to reduce greenhouse emissions. First, they must spend money on extra credits if their emissions exceed the cap. Second, they can make money by reducing their emissions and selling their excess allowances. Proponents of the carbon credit system say that it leads to measurable, verifiable emission reductions from certified climate action projects, and that these projects reduce, remove, or avoid greenhouse gas emissions. The ultimate goal of carbon credits is to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. A carbon credit represents the right to emit greenhouse gases equivalent to 1 ton of carbon dioxide. According to the Environmental Defense Fund, that is the equivalent of a 2,400-mile drive in terms of carbon dioxide emissions. Companies or nations are allotted a certain number of credits and may trade them to help balance total worldwide emissions. The intention is to reduce the number of credits over time, thus incentivizing companies to find innovative ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Cap-and-trade programs remain controversial in the United States. However, 11 states have adopted such market-based approaches to the reduction of greenhouse gases, according to the Center for Climate and Energy Solutions. Of these, 10 are Northeast states that banded together to jointly attack the problem through a program known as the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. The United States has been regulating airborne emissions since the passage of the U.S. Clean Air Act of 1990, which is credited as the world's first cap-and-trade program. The program is credited by the Environmental Defense Fund for substantially reducing emissions of sulfur dioxide from coal-fired power plants, the cause of the notorious acid rain of the 1980s. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change developed a carbon credit proposal to reduce worldwide carbon emissions in a 1997 agreement known as the Kyoto Protocol. The agreement set binding emission reduction targets for the countries that signed it. More than 190 nations signed on to the Paris Agreement of 2015, which also sets emission standards and allows for emissions trading. The Kyoto Protocol divided countries into industrialized and developing economies. Industrialized countries, collectively called Annex I, operated in their own emissions trading market. If a country emitted less than its target amount of hydrocarbons, it could sell its surplus credits to countries that did not achieve its Kyoto-level goals, through an Emissions Reduction Purchase Agreement, ERPA. Here are 5 key takeaways. 1. Carbon credits were devised as a mechanism to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. 2. Companies get a set number of credits, which decline over time, and they can sell any excess to another company. 3. Carbon credits create a monetary incentive for companies to reduce their carbon emissions. Those that cannot easily reduce emissions can still operate, at a higher financial cost. 4. Carbon credits are based on the cap-and-trade model that was used to reduce sulfur pollution in the 1990s. 5. Negotiators at the Glasgow COP26 Climate Change Summit in November 2021 agreed to create a global carbon credit offset trading market. Hope this would help. Thanks for watching.